Hello, everybody. Welcome to Monday, November 30th, the last day of November 2020. Mr. Perry here with your science lesson for today. First off, bell ringer. Make sure that you answer for today. We got a full week, so a full 5 for the bell ringer will happen. And then what we're going to do afterwards, I'll show you, but we're going to do a couple of brain teaser videos and kind of look at what's happening behind them. Because we're going to be looking at the brain over the next 2 weeks and what is actually happening inside of this thing up here when we're doing certain activities. So we're going to take a look at some of those different activities over the course of the next couple of weeks. We're not going to go deep into the brain because there's a lot of stuff we can talk about the brain. We could spend a whole year talking just about the brain, and then if you're, like a doctor and whatnot, you would be taking those kind of classes. We're just going to hit the surface level of some of the main things that go along with it. So without further ado, where you can find some of this stuff for today, we'll need to pop open Schoology, and I'm already in the Monday, November 30th folder. There's the bell ringer. It's a pretty simple one for today. And then we've got the slides for the brain activity. Now, from what people have been telling me, when you load up the brain videos, the videos that are embedded into the slides will sometimes not work for you. If that is the case, whenever you get to a video on Schoology, I have posted the YouTube videos at the bottom of the screen there. There's one for the memory activities, there's one for the images, and there's one for the recognition that we're going to look at today. And it's only the first 3. There's a lot more in there, but when you get to Friday activities, stop. Don't do Friday stuff yet because it's only Monday. We're going to come back to this stuff, obviously, then on Friday. But the first thing, we're going to deal with memories. So it's going to have a couple of tests for you to do. If your video doesn't skip forward automatically, I don't know if it will, but we're about maybe like 30 seconds into the video because they just promote their own stuff the first 30 seconds, so you can skip ahead to where they actually start doing the test. 4:30 on me.
That's why today we're going to tell you
it's about at the
simple exercises
20,
that can help
30 second mark in the videos when they actually start doing the test. So if you're at about the 30-second mark, you should be able to get the first exercise. When it says it's exercise 1, that's where you want to start with. And what all these first ones have to deal with is your memory. And how our memory is going to be working with this is that it's going to work on using both parts of our brain at the same time, which really tests our memory to see whether or not we're able to collect that message and send it to where that message needs to go. So there's a couple of exercises in there that they walk you through how to do. So you can give them a shot, give them a try. A lot of them are meant to purposefully almost make you mess up, but not intentionally, but your brain kind of treats it as that. Because it's not the way our brain usually normally works. So it's kind of, the function is kind of like that. Then a little bit about the memory itself. The memory is actually in the hippocampus of your brain and has a lot of different stuff associated with our memories. If I move my fat head here, you can see the hippocampus is this red little part in the brain. I don't know what, there's my mouse. That's red little part of the brain. That is where it's working, and it's actually right in the middle between the two hemispheres. We got a left half and a right half. They each do different things. We're going to learn about that tomorrow. But because they are making new connections between the left and the right half to try to recreate these memories. And how these memories are kind of created a little bit before we go into too much tomorrow is that they start out as kind of an electrical charge or electrical signal, and that electrical signal or impulse is what we'll later call them, is traveled throughout the cell, and when it gets to the end of the cell, it triggers a chemical to be released in order for it to get from one cell to the next cell. And then as soon as that chemical gets absorbed by the next cell, it turns it into a electrical impulse again, and it travels down that until it reaches its final destination. So it cycles between these electrical and chemical impulses going back and forth over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. But it switches between these electrical and chemical signals. Now, when you get to this part where it says answer questions on Schoology, what we have here is that I have 3 sets of questions, 1 for memories, 2 for images, and 3 for our recognizing videos today. I'm considering these to be participation points for today, so all you have to do from at home is to watch the videos, attempt the things, either watch my part explaining it or read through the explanation, and then try your best at answering these questions here. There's not accuracy involved with it. I just want to see what you have for it going on there. So make sure that you get those submitted so I can give you credit for today's stuff. Then you're going to do the same thing for the other ones. We got another one that talks about images, so our video is all about images. So you can check that one out. Here's our information about images. Basically, when they say that a picture is worth 1,000 words, there actually kind of is some truth to that, because our brain actually processes images a lot clearer than it does words at first. The first impression is always visual. That's because our brain processes visuals more than words a lot faster, about 60,000 times faster than with words. Because basically, this bottom part here is where the part is located at in the brain that triggers your images. I could point you to the picture here and say, hey, it's this red part of the brain. That's where it's located at in the back part here. Or I could try to explain in words of the visual information from the retina is relayed through the lateral geniculate nucleus of the thalamus to the primary visual cortex, a thin sheet of tissue, less than 1/10 of an inch thick, a bit larger than a $half, which is located on the occipital lobe in the back of the brain. Or I could just have a picture showing you the red spot where it's located at. The picture is a lot faster to understand than if we were to explain it in word form. Not only because it uses a lot of complex stuff, is because you look at a picture, oh, there's something important with that red spot. That must be where this is happening at. Instead of telling you specifically where it is at. It's a much wordier process, and because it's wordier, it takes our brain longer to process where all that is, if we even know what half that stuff even means. But that is like the formal definition versus the, looking at it from the picture point of view. So there's some questions on Schoology to answer. This would be number 2 on there, where it says images, number 2. And then we got a recognizing video. It's going to show you different logos. This one's 13 minutes long. By no means do you have to do all 13 minutes of it. I think I have the video automatically supposed to stop around the 5-minute mark, but if you watch the first 5 minutes of it, you'll get the hint to it. Because basically all of them are what is different about the picture. So it has to deal with recognizing stuff in there. So that's kind of how that deals with it. And as far as recognition goes, that one's a little bit quicker. It is the main area is located right on the side here of our brain. It's what's called the temporal lobe. That deals with a lot of our recognition and our processing skills. Even things like recognizing language can work in there a little bit. And it's able to identify objects where we go like, oh, that's a ball, so ball is there, and that kind of stuff would be happening in that area, that location of the brain. And like before with all the other ones, there's a little set of Schoology questions for you to answer. So answer them up, best of your ability. Like I said, all of those little things are participation today, so you just got to put your answers in there. I'm not expecting you to know all this stuff, but it was more for in class to make sure that they're trying to pay attention to some of the things that we're going over and why we're doing some of these activities. So when you're at home, why we're doing these activities is based off of some of these explanations for why we're working on recognition or our memory or looking at how images are processed there. So without further ado, this is about a 10-minute video, so I'll let you get going on the other videos there. Like I said, remember all the videos can be found at the bottom of the page. Let me know if something doesn't work. People have already today, but I will get this uploaded as soon as possible and get it sent out to you so that you have all the video instructions necessary for everything to complete it. And I will hopefully see you soon.